this is my problem.
Yeah.
I think nobody can do it the way I do it.
That's my problem too.
It's not fucking true. That's every entrepreneur's problem. That's not even entrepreneurship. I was the same way in corporate. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't give my assistant fucking work, and she'd be like, what can I do? I was like, I don't know. She's like, you need to give me work.
Yeah.
She was awesome, but that's our role, is like training these people. As a manager, when I was back in the Hyatt, like, my role was to get them to become a manager, so then I can become a director. Yeah. Like, that's the pyramid, and I just...
You wouldn't let yourself...
Yeah.
Grow.
Yeah.
You were kind of like stunting your own growth.
100%, by not giving her my work, so I could focus. But now as an entrepreneur, I see.
Yeah.
I get it though. But,
I know. Yeah. I know, and there's this girl I follow on Instagram. I feel like we already started the podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like we can just keep talking and then see what happens. But there's this girl, this photographer that I love. I love her work. I love her vibe. I love like everything she talks about, like just like who her business is and like how she just approaches things and talks about it. She's like so good on the branding and everything. And she made this one post that was like things I wish I knew starting my business, or things I wish I knew last year, like lessons I learned the last year or something like that. And one of them was that you have to lose money to make money.
So true.
And talking about like outsourcing and stuff like that. And I was like, because I have the same issue where I'm like, oh, I don't want to let anybody else do this because I feel like I can do it, or like I'm the only one that can do it the way I want it done, but it's not true. Like, you just have to show somebody else how to do it, and they will do it how you want it done, and you can be there. I don't know. So I was like struggling with that, and then I'm working with Abby, Riverstone Bookkeeping, from that like tax preparation episode that we had, and like 101 bookkeeping, and it's the fall season, and so I've been having really good months because lot of weddings right now, and so everybody's final payments are due like 30 days before the wedding. So obviously September and October are my two biggest months, and so August and September were my two biggest like financial months. And she's so good. She sends a report that I can like follow. That's like a monthly report of like graphs to show like my growth and things, and like it shows my where I was at this point last year versus where I am now, which is nice. And then she does the exact same report but year to date. So she does it like monthly and then like yearly, so that I can see where I am at the point in this year in comparison to this point last year, not just like month to month, but, and it's so nice. And she like tracks my subscriptions and things like that to show me like any hidden fees that I'm paying for and stuff. It's really good. So she sends me this report, and then on top of that she also records this video of her explaining it as, I know, it's so nice, because if I were to look at it I'd be like,
that's where I'm at right now.
Numbers. But she like reads it out loud and like talks me through each number and is like, your growth is really good this month, blah blah blah. Your what's the like percentage of
your ROI?
I don't know, but like it's kind of like your cost of doing business, like your like healthy business number. It's like a percentage. It's like it should be like 60% or higher. I don't know what like the word is for it. I'm like blanking on what the word is for it.
I keep wanting to say ROI, but ROI is return on investment. So that
it's like your,
not your gross. No, it's your profit margin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. I can pull up my report, but
No,
I think it's my profit. Yeah, your profit margin.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Right?
We are sounding so unprofessional stupid. That we should know all of this, but we don't, and this is why we need to hire people.
Yeah, no, it's
your profit margin, because
your profit margin, because it's you take what your income was and then what your expenses were, and that's how much you make, but it's in a percentage, so it's like easy to swallow. Oh
my god.
Anyway,
I know that I need her, and this goes
do.
back to having other people, but like I know that. Anyway, I'm gonna totally like rabbit, but I recently with my business coach, I had to do a quarterly review. And in the quarterly review, one of the things that I wanted to do for myself was see where I was last year at this time, because my numbers aren't where I wanted them to be and all of that. And I do the research, and I found out that I did less events in the third quarter and made more money this year than I did last year. But I wasn't seeing that. I was just seeing that I have 2 trailers.
It didn't feel like it?
My full, like, overall revenue isn't where I want it to be, but I have to dive in more like that, like what she's doing for you. But I run from hard things, and I'm learning this now, that I am not good with things that I'm not good at, and that's money. Not money, money, but that's expenses and profit margins and all of that. Like, I don't do any of that.
Well, because we like the art side.
Yeah.
We like to create. We like to give people a fun, cool experience. Yeah. And that's more what I'm focused on than, like, the expenses and the fun. Like, I don't know that much. Like, I know that I need to know it, and I know that it's important, and I know I need to pay attention to it. But, like, I don't know what a good profit margin is, like, until she told me, and told me mine was good. Like, and I'd be like, is that good? I don't know. So, like, it has been really helpful for her to give me her professional opinion on where my business is at every month. And she tells me how much she thinks, like, point blank, I should pay myself based off of how well I did that month. How much I should put into my, like, savings goals. How much per month I need to put aside for taxes, federally and state.
Yeah.
And so I make sure that I'm not overpaying myself, or that I can pay myself more than I think I can without hurting my business. And it's just been so nice. So going back to that girl on Instagram saying that you need to spend money to make money and that outsourcing is okay, it really, like, soaked in for me when I got this really awesome report from Abby, because she was like, Meghan, this month was really good for you. If you want to pay yourself like this number, that's an insane, like, you don't have to pay yourself obviously that much, but, like, if you have something you really want to buy for your business or whatever, she was like, you have a lot of space in your business to invest in it.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can invest in it more than you think you can. You can put money aside to outsource somebody, like, you can do that. And I'm like, man, she's right, because, like, if I have money to put in for VA or something like that, then that's only going to make me more time to be able to book more clients and make more money too. So I'm like, man, maybe I need to get a VA, because I'm also, like, just emailing people all the time, it feels like. And I have my business hours in my email signature, and so people know that, like, they'll get a pretty quick, like, end of day response from me, or next day response from me at least, regarding their session or their wedding or, you know, whatever is going on. And so if I get an email and I'm at my computer and I'm editing, I'll pause editing to respond to an email if it's quick. And so there are some days where I spend half of the day just emailing a few people back and forth, or responding to 5 inquiries, or, you know, whatever it may be. And I'm, like, realizing, like, whoa, it's lunchtime, half the day went by and I haven't even done any editing yet. And it's like, I can't afford to lose that time anymore. And so, but like, a business coach would be somebody that would really help poke me to do those kinds of things. And it probably wouldn't have taken me this long to realize. And, like, I wonder,
debatable, because I'm just realizing.
Well,
but no, I get what you're saying.
Your episode was, like, really, that's also part of it, is, like, helping me realize all of these things, just all these 3 things that I heard and saw are, like, resonating, and I'm like, man, Jen's been right. Jen's right. Abby's right.
Yeah, and you're reminding me that I need to hire Abby, and
she's the best.
Yeah,
I'll show you the video when we're off.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm
worth it.
Yeah, I need to dive into that. So, well, anyway, let's recap, because we kind of just, like, dove into this episode, and that's what this episode is going to be. We're recapping our insanely crazy weekend. Weekends. And just kind of, like, catching up. Meghan and I are finally together again.
Hey, you're listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. I'm Meghan.
I'm Jen. But yeah, this is a catch-up episode, and then we're going to dive into a little of like mental health in business and kind of just like where we're at. It's okay. You're not alone. All those things. So I'll kick it off with the recap of my craziest weekend to date in business. Maybe not craziest, but kind of like pivotal moment where I was like, wow, I did this, because I had 3 events this weekend. 2 of them were weddings. They were smaller-ish. They were each like about 100 people. And then I also had a bridal shower in addition to that. So I'm like breathing just thinking about it.
Much.
Because it was a lot. Like, and leading up into it, I have been in like a really weird business mental health stage where I was like not wanting to work on my business, not wanting to work. I was working in my business because I physically had to. Like, I physically had to do my events.
Yeah.
But I wanted nothing to do with marketing. I wanted nothing to do with promoting my business. I was still active on social media, which is where I am the most active, but I was doing nothing else. Like, I did not want to open my computer. So leading up into this weekend, it was like such a crazy time because I didn't want to do the stuff for it, but again, I had to.
Yeah.
And it really like reminded me that I can do hard things. And this was a hard thing because I don't know if you know, but I run this business solo. Like, my husband is the best support system at home with the kids and just with everything else. But like he's not touching the business side of it.
Yeah.
And so I do this on my own, and to have, you know, almost 300 people to be servicing this weekend at different times, at different locations. It was crazy. So I dropped off one trailer. I dropped off a satellite bar on Thursday.
For the shower?
For the shower. You know, set up what I could. And thankfully it was an amazing vendor friend, and it was her sister's bridal shower. So she was super helpful with everything. And then Friday morning, I dropped off one trailer, which was an hour and 20 minutes away from my house.
Whoa.
Then had to come home. Oh, also, let me like throw in the fact that I said yes to working an event that had nothing to do with my business because I do it every single year. And it just happened to be on Friday.
Wait, what do you mean?
So I worked, one of my good friends, he owns an event production company, Seabass Events, and he does Greenwich Hospital's gala every year. And he always asks like a few people to come in and just like help run the behind the scenes of the show. So I say I do this every year, and it happened to be that like last Friday.
It was just Jen Milano. It wasn't the Vintage Horse.
Yes, it was just Jen Milano helping, event planning side of it.
Yeah, too much mental space for that.
What the hell did I like?
Yeah.
And I knew I had 2 events when I said yes to this.
Yeah.
Like, the weddings were already booked.
Yeah.
So lesson learned on that. But I did it. And like, that's what I have to remind myself. And like, I always talk to my aunt about this because she's always been an entrepreneur as well. And she's like, you can always vent to me. Like, you can always talk to me. She's like, but just know you always figure it out. I was like, I know, but
you got your own back.
Yeah. I do. But I feel like I'm learning that I work better under pressure. That's just who I am. It's always who I'm going to be. I'm trying not to project that to my kids because I'm already seeing.
Oh no.
I'm already seeing like, we're rushing out the door and we're late and we're, you know, doing homework the day before and I'm putting things in the folder as we're running out the door. And I'm like, Jen, and my husband said it last night. He's like, we need to not like have our kids the way that we were. And I was like,
well, 2 things though. I think growing up like that and like having an influence like that will make them a better person under pressure, like in an emergency situation or like if something like that's going on, like they're not going to crumble. Mm-hmm. They're going to be able to keep their cool and like keep it together. They're going to be able to handle the situation. But at the same time, for like a business like mine, I really need time to like make things perfect. Like it's important that like artistically, like I need time to be able to make my creativity come out. So 2 sides of it, because I feel like I can get more done under pressure. Like I can do work faster under pressure, but it's just not as good. So good and bad, I think. I don't think it's all bad.
I totally agree with that, and I appreciate you like letting me see the 2 sides of it. But I don't know what it is. I've always been this way too.
Yeah.
And even like we've talked about this all the time, like I can do my menu board on Monday for my events on the weekend, but I choose to do it
but will you be
Thursday
happy
night
doing it?
that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I know. I don't, it's so weird.
You can get it done faster in a pinch because you have to. But, like, then you don't get to, like, enjoy the experience of doing it. And I think that's half of the reason why we do it, is to, like, have fun.
Yeah.
And because we like to do it. But if we're stressed about doing it, then we're not going to like it.
See, no, I feel like I'm opposite.
Really? You enjoy it more when you're like, let's go, go, go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound like you. That does not sound like me.
You know me. You know this is how
you know what, you're right. I'm just projecting.
No, like, I thrive off of chaos.
Yeah.
And that's why off season is so hard for me every single year. Like,
this is so crazy. I was just talking to my mom about this. Well, kind of not really. We were talking about, like, emergency situations and whatnot. My grandmother, my mom's mom, was sick for, like, most of my mom's childhood, and so she's really good under pressure. She's really good in, like, an emergency situation, you know, getting the ducks in order, that kind of thing. And my dad is not. Like, something stressful happens. What do you need? Towels? Okay. Comes back with a single sheet of, like, paper towels. Like, so it's just funny. It's just
literally
funny. But,
like,
I can, like, see both sides. Like, my dad is, like, a slow worker, enjoys the experience, puts, like, time and thought into, like, a lot of things, and, like, builds and builds. But my mom is, like, get it done.
Yep.
So it's funny.
That's why I love your mom.
It's funny. Yeah.
We're the same.
Yeah.
No, my husband's the same way. He
Interesting.
takes his time. Like, I'll give you a quick example. Hanging something on our walls.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ed, put the nail in the wall and put it up.
Yeah.
He's got to get the tape measure.
Yeah.
He's got to get the...
Well, that's a guy thing, too. It's got to be level.
It's got to be
on the
level.
wall.
You got to get the level. You got to get this. And I could do it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And, like, those are things that frustrate me with my husband, because I'm like, it takes him so long to do something that I could do in 2 seconds. But I have to remind myself that he's going to do it, and he's going to do a great job doing it. It's just, he's going to do it in a different way than I do it.
Yeah.
But that I need to not always be the crazy person. But no, and again, this is where my husband and I are also different. Like, he does not enjoy being in a large social setting. Like, he does better one-on-one with someone where I feed off of being around people.
Yeah.
Like, I love networking events. I love going to parties. Like, I love a family party. Like, you will catch me at all of them. And my husband is like, do we have to go to all of them? And I'm like, yes. And I've now learned that that's not his thing.
Yeah.
So he doesn't come to all the family parties anymore. And that's okay. He comes when I force him to go. I don't think he listens to this podcast, so he's not going to hear me talking about him. But yeah, I've just learned that instead of picking a fight with my husband all the time and being like, you have to come to another family. And now his family lives in Massachusetts, so it's really my family parties.
Yeah.
And he loves my family. And, you know, but they have now known, is Eddie coming? Nope. Okay. Like, that's it.
Right.
Not like,
no
why,
hard feelings.
Yeah, why isn't he coming? No, he needs his personal alone time, and that's fine. Yeah. Whereas me, like, I need to be around people. Yeah, so
you drove an hour and a half to drop off the first
I spiraled
trailer.
Really bad.
That's okay. That'll be this episode. It's fine.
Okay.
We haven't seen each other in so long, so
we're just spiraling today. Yeah, so I dropped the trailer off, came home, and had to literally get ready, get changed, and go to Greenwich, Connecticut, which is about 40 minutes away from my house, to be there for 3 o'clock.
Oh, you can't take the Merit, huh?
Well, I didn't have the trailer.
Oh, it was like a satellite for the
No, this was the Greenwich event where I was not the vintage horse.
So you dropped off the trailer the day before the event.
Yes.
Now I'm following. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So then I worked the event until 11:30 p.m.
The Solo Jen Milano event.
Got it. Then woke up the next morning and had to pack up, get the trailer ready, get everything going. My mom thankfully watched my kids the night before, so I didn't have any distractions in the morning. I was able to, like, cut all of my fruit, do all that. Mm-hmm. Then go and work the event. And I had to get there early because we had a cocktail hour bar that they rented. Then I had the trailer. We had to set everything up. We were doing a champagne toast. We were doing wine on the tables, which those are things that we typically don't do, but originally it was 75 people, so I said yes to all of this. Then it went up to 100 people, and it was also long tables, which honestly was easier for our service at that point. Instead of, like, going to all different tables, we could just go up and down the rows. So it worked out really nicely, and the planner was awesome, and she had a team to help us and all of that. But but I was just mentally drained by Sunday, and I still have kids. And we had baseball at 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And then we had, I don't even remember what, my cousin was here from California, so I had to go visit him. Not had to, I wanted to go visit him.
Right, but still something on your plate.
But still something on my plate. And then we get home and have to get kids, you know, calm and ready for a week of school. And it's a lot on your plate. And like Monday, my goal was to go pick up the other trailer and the satellite bar. Instead, I had to work the business at that point because I had emails and things that needed to go back out. And I was just like, I had to get work done on my computer.
Yeah.
So then I didn't pick up the trailer till Tuesday, which was yesterday. And so I'm like still not done with the weekend. And it's Wednesday. Because I have to now reorganize everything, get everything back. And I think that those are the things that people don't understand when, I'm going to use a mobile bar as an example. They just think we come, we bartend, and we leave. Yeah. That is it. You don't understand everything that I just went through. And that doesn't include all the shopping I did prior to that, where I had to go to multiple different stores because one store does not have all the ingredients that I need or all the supplies. I had to make sure my team was all ready and set up to go. I had to stress about the fact that my team was bartending events that I wasn't there for because I still can't fathom that I do this. And they were awesome. They were amazing. Every client was so freaking happy. I got an email from my bride. Thank you so much. Your team was amazing. I got an email from the bridal shower vendor client, and she was like, your bartender killed it. She ended up actually having to move the bar inside because it was raining on Saturday, like drizzling.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But just enough where like it wasn't worth being outside.
Yeah.
And she pivoted, and my client was like, I just have to tell you, like, your bartender was so amazing. She helped move everything inside, was like
that's so nice,
smiling and attentive. And then when I picked up the bar, the father of the bride was like, of the bridal shower, was like, your bartender was amazing. And you know, they don't really say much, like the dads.
Right, yeah.
So for him to like say something, it just reminds you again. And I was able to send it to my bartender, and she was like, I needed to hear that.
Aww.
It just like makes you whole. Like it really does. So that is my crazy spiral saga of 3 events being a week of work.
Yeah.
And that doesn't include when I actually booked it and talked to them and all of that.
Or going back to pick up the trailer, unpack everything, and clean everything for your weddings and events that I'm sure you have this weekend.
Yeah. Huh.
And it's Wednesday.
Okay, that was mine. Oh, wait, and then also, my kids don't have school tomorrow, which I didn't know.
Oh, Rosh Hashanah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I have an event tomorrow that I'm doing a charity golf tournament for a dad that passed away in my local town, and I'm giving back to the community, and I'm super excited. I have also realized that I thrive off of stuff like that, so I do want to do more of that. It fills me up. I'm also promoting my brand and my business in my town, which I love. But then I had to figure out where the hell my kids are going to go because I didn't know they didn't have school.
Yeah. Because
I don't write it down on the calendar. And Honeybook didn't tell me my kids don't have school.
Where are you going?
Oh my god, I think the chair knew I needed to have fun. Okay, so I digress. So now let's talk about your...
Are you a content creator looking for the best music for your videos? Epidemic Sound is the best place to find music and effects to level up your work. I personally use Epidemic Sound for my wedding videos and have had an amazing experience. Using their search tools, I'm able to look for the perfect song for my clients by genre and mood. Select the Epidemic Sound offered keywords when searching, like dreamy, suspense, euphoric, to find the perfect match for you. Start your 7-day free trial of Epidemic Sound with the link below.
Are you looking to up your client experience? Honeybook is a leading client management tool for accepting inquiries, sending invoice and contracts, and keeping all your emails in an easy and safe space. Check out their amazing tools like the expense tracker, batch email sender, and email templates to get messages to clients with ease. Make your business run faster and more efficiently with Honeybook. Use the link in the description for 25% off your first year. That's a 1-week free trial and 25% off your first year of Honeybook with the link below.
My weekend was also crazy busy. I had a wedding on Friday. That was really, really nice. Couple I'd been looking forward to their wedding for a long time. They've been booked with me for, I want to say like close to 2 years probably. They've been engaged for a really long time. And just amazing venue, amazing couple, gorgeous. Her dress was gorgeous. Her portraits are stunning. Her hair and makeup, like everything was just like beautiful. And my second shooter is like a good friend of mine. We've been working together for like 3 years. When she first got into photography, she DM'd me and she was like, hey girl, I'm like starting to get into photography, like any tips? Or like, you know, we just connected really early on in both of our businesses, and her first wedding was with me, so it's always a good time when I get to see her again. And the groomsmen loved her energy, loved hanging out with her, because we separated and I did the girls and she did the guys. And she started the morning with them and I started the morning with the girls, and we came together for the ceremony. And at the end of the night, a bunch of the groomsmen were like, you know, yapping with her and talking to her and just like telling me how much that they liked her. And yeah, it was just so nice to have somebody that, you know, you're really close with to hang out with, but also that you like trust their work and trust who they are, and that they're going to give the couple an experience that you would give also even when you're not there. Which is kind of like what you were talking about with your bartenders and the girls that were doing events that you weren't at. And it's hard to let go of that and to, you know, have somebody shoot something for me without me present, even if it's the same day, even if I'm at the event, but to have them photograph something when I'm busy doing something else, it's like a hard thing to kind of let go of. But when they're people that you like and people that you trust, that it's not as scary as it once was. But anyway, so that was an awesome wedding venue I'd never been to before. Wrights Mill Farm. It's like on the border of Rhode Island, kind of. So it was like 2 hours for me. And I always try to go like 30 minutes early just so that I can get to the venue on time in case of any traffic. But I also try to go even after the traffic 30 minutes early just to get settled, because I feel like I don't want to show up at my contracted time. I want to like start working at my contracted time. And so if my contracted time, begin time with the client is at like 12, then I want to make sure that I'm there before 12 to unpack my bag and say hello and use the bathroom and make sure I'm parked in the right spot and all of those things. And so that takes some time, and I don't want to eat that or have that eat into the time that they're paying for me to be there, to be actually working. So I went super early. It was like it ended up being like, I don't know, like 3 hours in advance that I was like leaving my house before the wedding, and I was like, phew, this is far. And then literally the next day I was in like the same area for 2 engagement sessions at Harkness. And Harkness is a really pretty state park. It's a lot like Waveney, but it's bigger. There's like more gardens, more structures. There's a little beach that's part of the park that you can go down to. Yeah. It has more stuff. There's a cute greenhouse. There's just more to do there than I think there is at Waveney. But if you know what Waveney in New Canaan looks like, Harkness looks the same. It's just on the other side of the state. And because I'm not local to that side of the state, I don't usually recommend that place, just because I have a mileage fee for anything over 30 miles from me, and that is well over 30 miles from me. So I'm not going to recommend that and then be like, oh, and here's the fee. You know, I'm going to recommend places that are local to me, that are free for me to travel to. And then I have some other places that are just outside of my local radius, like Litchfield area, and be like, okay, well, we can go here, and it'll be like a $10 travel fee or whatever. But this one couple really wanted to go there, and both of these 2 couples, I met 2 couples because I figured, well, if I'm going to be there already, and I had 2 people inquiring for Harkness, I was like, let me see if I can try to do them on the same date. So that, one, only the first person who had already booked their session had to pay the mileage fee, and then the second person, I was like, I'm already going to be there. And, you know, it saved them some money. It saved me some money and time especially, because then I didn't have to make 3 trips to the same spot. I only had to make 2 trips to the same spot. But anyway, sessions went really, really well, and it drizzled. It was windy. It was dark. It was kind of cold, but it was really nice. And they all had cute outfits, and they bared the rain, and they didn't complain, and they did everything awesome. I asked and then some, and it was a really great experience with both of them. And so that was a success. But again, it's like I had 2 sessions and they were so far away that took up like half of my day, even though they're just engagement sessions and they're 2 hours worth of that. it was also 2 hours there and then 2 hours back. So it was a full day of work, and I wasn't able to do all the things that I probably really needed to do at home to work on the business post wedding, do the editing from the day before, pack my bag for the next day, because then on Sunday I had another wedding at Waveney, so same vibe, but with Devin from All Set Up, and it was so nice.
Makes my heart so happy.
Yes, it was so nice to see her and her business operate, because I've seen her obviously with the big event that you guys do together, and I've known her, but it's just different to see like a vendor friend shining like at an actual client event and like be on the vendor team together. Like when we had that wedding, that was a long time ago, maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Jess and Josh,
remember?
Yes. Like it's just so cool to like see you really doing it and not just at a networking event or somewhere where you have, it's just different. It's just different to like actually be at a wedding. But yeah, her team was amazing. Everywhere I turned, there was somebody there, ready to help, ready to answer my questions, ready to talk to somebody for me, ready to get the party going. I felt like I really had somebody on my side, versus most of the time when there isn't a planner coordinator and it's just the photographer, I kind of take on that role and make sure that the timeline stays on track and that the bride and groom get to where they're supposed to be. Like that falls on to then my shoulders. And so it was really nice, especially the third day of the weekend. This was like my third event kind of the weekend. It was nice to not have to do those things and to, have things kind of laid out for me almost. And I got to just kind of like roll with the punches. It was really, really nice. And it was cool to watch them operate. So yeah, that was my weekend. And today's Wednesday. So Monday, I woke up so late on Monday, just to recharge from the weekend. And this goes into the mental health portion that you were talking about. Like I need time to adjust after all of these events and weddings, and not just like physically, but mentally. Like it's just so stressful doing these events all the time, and that's part of why the price in the wedding industry is the way that it is, because not everybody can do it. You have to be good being under pressure, like you're training your kids to be, and like you have to be able to handle all of these stresses and also put on a good happy face and give somebody a great experience. And so that takes so much energy out of me, because also I'm an introvert. I don't thrive in that environment. I will do it and I think I'll do it well, and I do enjoy meeting people and all of those things, but that doesn't give me energy. It takes energy away from me. And so after even just one wedding, I need like a day to recoup. But after like 3, working with 4 couples, it's
you technically had 4.
I mean,
'cause you have to
two wedding days and then 2 sessions.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I had to guide.
Right.
Guiding people through this like photo experience takes a lot of energy out of me to give them my spiel of like, okay, this is how the session's going to go. This is how the photo experience is going to go. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. And if you need blah, 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 like I go through this spiel every time I work with somebody. And it was a lot to do. I mean, I don't even remember how I used to do mini sessions and do that 20 times in a day to give a family or a couple that spiel. 10 minutes go by, I do it again. 10 minutes go, oh my God. The people that do mini sessions, you guys are rock stars, because that's like my like key to success with my sessions is like giving people a little explanation before the session even starts, because they need a little bit of guidance. They don't know what's happening. You can't just put your camera in front of their face and expect it to go well. Like they need to, you need to, talk to them a little bit and make sure that they're comfortable before you even get started. I give them like a warm up before the session even really begins. And to do that at like 3 and then to do that again at like 4 with a brand new couple, it was hard to kind of reframe my brain to be like, this is a brand new couple. Okay. Brand new couple. Mm-hmm. You can't continue as on the path I was just on. I have to start over. And then to do it again the next day and to have already done it the day before. It was a lot to do.
And
it 4 times in a row
too.
Every couple's different. So, yeah, just like so exhausting physically. I've got a stiff neck. I feel better now that I've been like looking to the left, but my neck was stiff on the left because of my my cameras are just so heavy, and I wear this 2 camera harness, so I have one on each hip, but it like goes across my shoulders kind of, and then I wear this fanny pack, crossbody fanny pack, so I have like extra weight on my left shoulder. And yesterday it hurt so much because I've also been sitting. I worked late yesterday. I started working at probably like 8 or 9 in the morning and worked all day, and then when my neck started to hurt too much, probably like 10 at night, I was like, okay, I guess I'll lay in bed and keep working on my laptop instead. But so anyway, I feel looser now that we've been chatting, so I feel good. But like my body needs to recoup, but so does my mind. Like I'm an introvert. I can't do it all day every day. So
no, excuse me, I feel the same way. I had to truly like reset myself, and I ended up going to have a drink with my 2 aunts on Monday night, and because they're in here from Chicago visiting for a little bit, and I ended up drinking more than I should have because we were just having such a great time. But I also think I needed that. Like I needed to shut my brain off from my business. I needed to just like bitch about life with 2 of my family members, and they're amazing and I love them, and I talk to them all the time, but I don't get to see them in person.
Right.
So it was truly like you have to find ways to balance yourself, and this just like sparked my memory of talking about balance. And I've talked about this before, how I look at life as like a scale, and we talked about this. Where is your scale, by the way?
There.
Oh, okay. Meghan got her scale. It looks a little tipsy, girl.
It's very uneven. Yeah.
But I always used to, and I heard this on a podcast, or I heard this talking to someone when actually it was Cake's Body, the 2 sisters that started the nipple covers.
Yeah.
And she was she was at a Business Socialistas event, and she talked about this, and she said that, she looks at life as a scale. And when your personal life is needing a lot of attention and you're just like go, and you're just doing more in personal, then your business is going to kind of be the lower end of the scale, and vice versa. Like when you're working on your business and you need to put your all into that, your personal and family and life is going to be the lower end of the scale.
Right.
And back to the mental health load, I feel like recently my scale has been much higher on family and personal, and just like my kids going back to school and adjusting to that change and all of that. I feel like I have not wanted to work on my business at all. Like I've worked in my business because I physically had to, but I have not wanted, like my computer and my quote unquote office is between my kitchen and my living room. So I literally walk by it every single day, which I'm thinking of moving it somewhere. I don't know where, but I think I need to move it somewhere to a spot where like I don't walk by it every single day. I have to actually go there and like sit in that area, and I can shut my brain off because I think there's just too many distractions where it is right now.
Yeah.
But I used to wake up early, get my work done. I would stay up till 11, 12 o'clock at night doing work because I was in a season where I wanted to. And recently I have truly been in a season where I do not want to work on my business. I'm just, again, in a season where family is coming first right now.
Right.
And the business is on the back burner, which is really hard. Megan's raising her hand.
Do you know what might be interesting?
What?
Is if you did like, I guess that's kind of just what a retreat could be, but what could be cool is if you do like a staycation with your entrepreneur friends, like book an Airbnb and like everybody brings their laptop and like that's what you're going to do. But like you motivate each other to actually sit down and work.
And do it.
And just do it. Yeah. You like sit around the table together and you're like, okay, timer.
I'm going to ask
ChatGPT
for a fun, creative name for like an entrepreneur staycation.
Yeah. That could be cool.
I love that.
Because that's not something
really
you can run away from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I don't know. Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
Just I was like, ooh, that could be kind of fun.
Well,
like in your off season, because I know that you don't like that. That would be like,
I need something to plan.
Go for a weekend, go for like 2 or 3 days with Devin and some friends or whatever, and be like, okay, timer set from 10 to 12. We're going to work.
Like all of my vendor friends are different industries. Like we're all entrepreneurs, but we're all in like balloons or event planning or florist or photography. Like we're all different levels. And I feel like at the end of the day, your core responsibility is promoting your business and getting your name out there and branding yourself and doing all that. And obviously making sure your clients are happy. So at the end of the day, you're all
doing
in
the
it for the
same
same
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can feed off each other. Oh,
Yes. Yeah. One
Boom.
person picks up their phone. Hey, put that down.
put that down. And be like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll bring lots of wine.
Yes. That could be so
oh my
fun.
God, I love that.
Be like, hey, if you pick up your
Yeah.
phone, then none of us get wine.
Yes. Oh my
You're going to
God.
ruin it for the rest
You're
of us.
going to ruin it for everyone. Oh my God, I love that.
That could be really fun.
I love that idea.
That could be so
Ooh,
fun.
this is fun. Okay, now you have my brain flowing. Oh my gosh.
That could be
But
really,
yeah,
really
but
fun.
that goes into the mental health. Like you need to reset in different ways.
Yeah.
And like you have to find ways. And I think my reset was, or I call it like my aha moment, was I did a quarterly review with my business coach because we have to do that every quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that there was like a question on the quarterly review of what could you have done better this quarter? Or what was hard? I forget exactly what the question was, but it stopped and made me think. It was something on the lines of like, what was hard in your business this quarter, or what could you have done better? It might have been both questions. And one of the things that I am looking at right now as a whole is my numbers aren't where I want them to be financially. But I'm just looking at it as a whole. I'm not looking at it. And the year's not even done. I have to also remind myself that.
You're about to go into one of your biggest months.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Give yourself some time.
Exactly.
for
So
that.
like I need to remember that. And I looked at my third quarter last year versus this year and like really dove into my numbers. And two things came up about with this. One, I run away from hard things. Like I literally shut down. My brain shuts down. My body shuts down. I'm like, nope, don't need to do this because it doesn't excite me. I don't enjoy it. And I'm not good at it. So I had to do it because she told me I had to do it. And it's part of the responsibility that I made and not responsibility, but the action that I made for myself, the promise I made to myself to do this business coach journey for 1 year. And one of the things was to do this business review. So, which I did a day late and I'm mad at myself for. There's that. So putting that to the universe. But anyway, I dove into my third quarter numbers and this year's numbers. And I found out that I actually did less events this year, but made more money this quarter, but made more money. So I ended up doing better than I did last year.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like
But
it
it
because
didn't feel
physically
like it.
you weren't
Yes.
doing the same.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So I have to remind myself that this is what I wanted. I wanted to do less events, make more money. Like, and I'm doing that. I'm doing more weddings than I did last year, which in turn takes a lot of mental capacity because a wedding is much different than going to a backyard birthday party, to going to a backyard anniversary event,
Corporate,
whatever it is. And it takes a lot of mental load because, and it's more people. I should actually look in to see how many more people I serviced this year, like this quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Versus last.
The size of the events?
The size of the events. Because I'm sure that.
How much work it really was per event.
Yeah. Like I had a almost 300 person wedding this year.
Wow. Oh,
Like,
that's right.
Remember like one of my first big events?
Yeah, right.
And I've had 200 person weddings. I have another one at the Bethlehem venue. We have a 200 person, the one that we did together.
Oh, Windcrest.
Yes.
Yeah.
200 person wedding.
Wow.
In 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I have to remind myself like I'm doing so much more. And I need to and I need to remind myself that. And if that's not what, and this is another thing like that I've learned is there's ways to pivot. And one thing, and I don't know how I want to like present this on the podcast because I know this is open to the public, but I found my clientele and I found who I really enjoy, and I found my sweet spot this season. And I thought my sweet spot was somewhere else. I thought it was in a different market, and it's not. And I've realized that. And I won't dive like too much into that, but I thoroughly enjoy the like blue collar client, the backyard vendors, I do like the venues, but I lean more towards the backyard tented venues. That's who I like. That's the clientele I like. That's the attendees that I enjoy being around. And we're around the attendees the most. Like the bar is the number one interactive place with every single guest. Whether you're getting water, whether you're getting a cocktail, whether you're getting a glass of soda, we are the one that we touch almost every single guest.
Yeah, I'm taking candids, but sometimes from far away.
Right.
Sometimes it's just like a wave from across the room. I don't get to say, how are you enjoying the night?
Yeah.
What can I get for you?
Having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
So
that's totally different.
You have to like the attendees.
Yeah.
And
right.
and I'm grateful that I found that, because now I can target that audience more.
Yeah.
Where I feel like last year I was targeting a different audience, and I got some of those clients, which, you know, was great and amazing. And
good experiment.
It was a good experiment. And I just realized that that wasn't who I want to target anymore. So it's just interesting what you learn each season.
Okay, well, sounds like we're going to have a really cool style shoot in our future together.
Yes. Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Because me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Like, it was amazing to see Waveney. Like, we just talked about that. So cool to be inside of it, because I've done sessions outside of Waveney, but never been indoors. But it's not my venue. And I was happy to be there. A beautiful space. Obviously, I'm excited to be at any wedding. But yeah, that's not my like ideal place. Like, I would rather be in somebody's backyard. I would rather be in a barn. I would rather be somewhere tented, or, you know, just like more relaxed.
Yes.
You know, luxury is not my thing.
See, I didn't want to say it, but that's 100%. Like, luxury is not, and
that's fine. And it doesn't.
That's fine.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And people can have weddings of completely different sizes, and that's not to say that like a backyard wedding isn't nice. Luxury just means it's just different. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I feel like we need to have Jess on to talk about this. But because I don't even think I can do it justice to just trying to give my explanation of it, because I don't even know if I fully understand it. But having like a luxury couple as a photographer, it's like, I feel like the stakes are a lot higher. Like, everything has to be literally perfect, and there's so much pressure on making sure that this shot gets done and this one gets done. I just feel like the stakes are higher. I feel like their expectations are higher and more picky on things. But for me, I like the candid photos more. I like giving people space to do what they want and taking pictures of it and giving them a little guidance, be like, walk in that direction. You know, look wherever you want, say whatever you want to each other, hold each other however you want, but just be in this general vicinity. I'm going to move around. Like, I give people space to do their thing. And I feel like the like blue collar, more, I don't want to say normal, but like more everyday, normal people that like feel like me will also like that, because I don't know. I've more enjoyed capturing couples and weddings and events and everything that I would want to host myself, or I would want to be at, and I would feel uncomfortable in a luxury wedding even as a guest. You know what I mean?
100%. And I thought that that's who my client was, because we are like, the mobile bar scene has gotten this like vision of like a luxury vendor. I don't want to call it that, but whatever you want to call it, because we are more expensive than you hiring the bar from your caterer, but because we put more into what we do. And, you know, going back to like the expenses, my mobile bar coach broke down all of my expenses, and she's like, your lime juice is so high. Like, why? And then she was like, it's probably because you're fresh squeezing your limes, or you're buying a very high end lime juice. And I do. I buy the most expensive lime juice you could possibly buy. I don't squeeze it anymore, because I found that these two taste so similar, and it only has a life shelf of like a little bit of time. But that's not negotiable for me. And that is why my prices are higher, because I'm using ingredients that are much more expensive than if your caterer who's going to use that bright green bottle that you have seen on the shelf for 2 years, that is going to give you a really bad stomach ache later. But that's what we take pride in. And in my head, I was coming up with this scenario where only luxury people can hire me, and only the luxury market is going to be able to afford my services.
But that's not true.
When that is not true at all.
Yeah.
And that's not who I want. That's not who, like, I want to be my client's best friend. I want to be the guests that are there. Yeah. I want them to be like, this is so cool. Whereas I feel like the luxury market is like, another vendor. And like, I don't know who I'm talking to when I say luxury market, because I'm not speaking to anyone specific.
It's a generality.
It's a general. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have just found that the everyday, like average Joe who comes up to the bar and is like, I'll be fine with a beer, but I'll try one of your drinks. And then they try my drink and they're like,
I'm obsessed.
This is the best drink. I want 5 more.
Yeah. And I think it probably has partially something to do with like where we grew up and where we live. Like we both live in pretty rural towns. Like that feels homey and normal for us. Yes. Versus maybe somebody who grew up and lives in Long Island or, whatever, Westchester, the city. Something like that is not as exciting or like I don't know, like it doesn't remind them as home as much as it does for somebody like you and me. Because like the blue collar
we can relate
guys
to them more.
They'll walk up to the converted horse trailer and want to inspect it, look underneath it, be like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, versus somebody who's never set foot on a farm wouldn't appreciate it as much.
You are like hitting the nail on the head today.
Well, because I feel the same way about
that's
me
why
and
we're
my
best
clients.
friends.
Like, I want to service couples who are hosting weddings that I would want to host or like that I would want to go to because I'm going to have a better experience shooting it. And I don't know, I feel like I could do them more justice. I could have more fun and know what photos I would want taken versus a luxury couple who is really high end, cares a lot about the fashion and cares a lot about this and this that I don't care about. Like, I'm not going to take the photos that they want. I'm going to be focused on different things, This just made me think of something else. And I'm having like such aha moments right now.
This
is so good.
I feel like, and I go above and beyond for all of my clients. Like, I don't discriminate. Like, every client, I am here to give you the best job.
I loved my wedding at Waveney, but
Right. But I feel like the ones where I relate with them, I resonate more with the guests that are there. I do like a little bit above and beyond. Like, we don't do wine service on the table, but if I'm slow at the bar and I feel that people are appreciating my services and I've bonded with some of the guests that are there, I'm going to go and I remember their drinks more. And that's like that's a bartender's job. Like, you're supposed to remember the drinks. And I'll go up to them and be like, oh, do you want another, let's say they were drinking an apple cider margarita, my favorite.
Yeah.
I'll go up to them and be like, do you want another apple cider margarita? And they're like, hell yeah. Like, thank you. Like, absolutely.
She remembered.
She remembered. And then you like build that relationship with that guest, and then they go and tell 5 other people when they leave the wedding that oh my God, this mobile bar, the Vintage Horse, she came up to me when I was sitting at my table and my drink was empty and I want another drink, but I was like in the middle of a conversation, but she came over and she got me another drink and oh my God,
she called me by my name.
Yeah. And versus if I'm not connecting with them and I'm not having, that experience, I'm just going to do the job that I was hired to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
you're not going to remember their drink because it wasn't your favorite drink. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And it didn't
bond.
It didn't bond. It didn't put a core memory in my. And so moving forward, I want to make sure. And there are events that I say no to, and we've talked about this before. But you don't know the guests that are going to be there. You could totally vibe with the bride and groom or the client or whoever. But I'm just learning a lot more of the clientele that I want to be in. And I'm like so proud that I'm realizing this in my journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe sometimes I turn people away that could have been a fantastic fit, but I didn't think that it was for some reason, So it is, it is hard, but we're also in a phase of our businesses where like we turn somebody away, somebody else will come too. So
very grateful for that.
Whatever happens kind of thing, que sera. But I think a big like telling point or whatever I guess is the venue. When they inquire and they have a specific venue, like you kind of know if you're gonna vibe with them kind of based off of the vibe of what their venue is. Like if somebody reaches out and they're like, oh, I'm getting married at Windcrest Estate, I'll be like, hell yeah,
done,
I'm there,
done. Yes.
Versus if they're like, oh, I'm getting married at Society Room in Hartford, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. That like this Blue Jay farm in Willington, I'm starting to get more leads for them. And I'm like so excited because that's my vibe. Like that, you need to check out this venue. It's adorable.
Okay.
They have like a little farm stand in there. Cute. Like so freaking cute.
Where is it again?
Willington.
Okay. We talked about this.
Yeah. Wilmington.
Because when you say that, all I'm thinking in my head is Blue Jay Orchards. And I'm like, no.
No. It's Bluebird Farm.
Bluebird
And
Farm.
the owner is just, she's amazing. So I'm super excited. I just got another lead for them today for that venue. Cool. And I'm super excited about it. So but this episode totally spiraled, but in a good way.
Yeah. And you know what? sorry,
No,
continue.
go ahead.
Just that you're on their preferred vendors list because she probably saw what an amazing job you did and how much fun you had being there, that she was like, oh, we need to have Jen back.
Yes.
And I just found out, I didn't even know that I'm on the preferred vendors list for the Hops Company.
Amazing.
Yeah, I had like 3 or 4 weddings there already this year. And the last one I was at, the coordinator came up to me and was like, oh my God, because I told her that I wasn't feeling well the day before. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so happy that you're here and everything's fine. And she was like, we love having you back. Well, you're on our preferred vendors list. And I was like, I am? Like, you didn't tell? Like, I didn't know that. And she was like, yes. So
I feel like we need to have someone come on who's on a lot of preferred vendor lists and like how they got on it.
Yeah, because I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask.
Because,
I didn't even know.
I'm on Smith Gardens. I'm on this Bluebird Farm.
Yeah, I'm on the spinning wheel.
Yeah, and
which
like
makes sense.
Yeah, totally. But I feel like that is like a huge opportunity for people.
Oh my gosh, it is.
But I do agree that you have to do an event there first.
Yeah,
So
or
like,
some kind of shoot
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how you probably got onto Smith Farms, was from that shoot that we did.
I did an event there first, actually, which was surprising. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got on it there. I mean, I could just talk to how I got on that one. I literally emailed them the next day and I was like, I just have to tell you, and this was 3 years ago. So this was when they were first doing events.
Oh yeah.
And I did a rehearsal dinner and I just like, first of all, who they were as just humans. I was like, I love you. I just want to be in your circle. And I thrived off of them. That is my vibe times 1,000.
Yeah. I love it there.
Love it there. Like you can't not love it there. Like you are not a human if you don't love it there.
Well, and that's you and me talking. But like there probably are a lot of people that are like, the grass.
Yeah.
I don't want to,
You're right. Yeah.
But we love it. We love it.
You're right. You're right.
You know, and we would say the same thing about like it's like the society room in Hartford. Like I've had a wedding there and it was beautiful, gorgeous. Like, and I can appreciate it. Same thing with Waveney. But it's like, would I want to go back there for every wedding?
You're so right.
No.
That's like, I wouldn't want to do, not that I do events in New York City, but like I would not want to do an event in New York City in a building, in claustrophobic, like.
Yeah, I get inquiries sometimes, not a lot, because I don't post about it. Because if I posted that I was in the city all the time, then I would get inquiries all the time. But every now and then I get like, oh, I'm eloping in somewhere, City Hall, whatever, New York City. And I'll just be like, that's so awesome. Here's my friend Jess. Yeah. Or like, here's my friend whoever.
Yeah.
Because I just, I don't want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Like if it has absolutely nothing to do with them. I just physically, I just know that I'm going to be stressed out and angry and whatever when I arrive from driving there or from taking the train or whatever. I also don't know how to take the train. Like I'm an idiot. And I just like, one, probably can't even get there. And 2, just will have a bad experience getting there.
Don't hire me for the city.
That like 3, when I get there,
you're going to be frustrated.
I'm going to not be my best just because I don't thrive in that environment.
Yeah.
And if I'm versus, in a space in an environment at a venue that I thrive in, they're going to get the best of me.
Yeah.
And, it's doing them a disservice, I think, by booking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not the best person for it.
And just to go back to like how I got on Smith Gardens vendor list. I literally emailed them the next day, but I had a connection with them. We talked. I like told them how much I love their property and how gorgeous it is, and like built that relationship while I was there. Then in turn, they knew who I was when I emailed them.
Yeah.
They knew my car, they knew my business. And when I emailed them, I was like, I don't know if, and I saw they had a preferred vendor list, but it was very minimal. I think there was like a few caterers on there. I think maybe like 1 or 2 event planners. Like it was very small at the time.
Yeah.
Now it's definitely much larger, but I just love that. So anyway, I emailed them and they got back to me and they were like, yeah, sure, we'll add you to our vendor list. So nice. And not everyone's going to do that now. And I think I got in at the right time.
You did. Yeah.
When they were very new, just starting, getting vendors, all of that. So I don't think that is the case for everything. But then back to this Bluebird Farm, again, I had a relationship with her. I asked her, do you have a vendor list? She's like, yeah. She had a form that you fill out with all your information, give your business card. So it was great. And then now I'm getting leads for it. So it's like, I love that. So it's like, you just have to do the little bit of the extra legwork.
Yeah.
And it's worth it.
Well, this is something that I'm going to remember for when I move in the future, because that's how you do it. And starting something, I'm going to feel like I'm starting all over again, even though I'm not.
Yeah.
Being in a new area, not knowing anybody, not having been to any venues. Because like right now I'll get an inquiry from somebody and they'll be like, oh, have you ever been there? My aunt, like, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like I've been everywhere.
Yeah.
Just about. It's a small state. I've been everywhere. But I feel like I'm going to have to do that all over again and be like, oh, everything is going to be a brand new experience. But that's kind of how you do it. Like I'll have to host maybe a styled shoot or two, or, you know, bring a model couple to a place once or twice. And from there be like, oh, here's my work. I love being here. Do you have a preferred vendors list? Or like whatever. Or like get a booking out of those photos that I create on my own. To then get a real couple to go there, and maybe after that has to be on the preferred vendors list or whatever. But
and I think it's also like
gotta be smart
when you do work at the venue, tagging them and sharing them on social media and tagging the location of the venue. So then when people go on to, you know, they're interested in that venue for their wedding or event, they're seeing you on there, and they're like, wait a minute, what's this photographer? What's this mobile bar? So it's like a lot of steps, but it's worth it. And it's, in my opinion, it's a great marketing tool. Yeah.
The collaboration tool is huge now. They just added that to TikTok too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that'll be
I'm not really
big.
on there. I need to get on there.
I know. People, the wedding industry, I feel like isn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll like go to tag people and like the hops, because I've been there so much. Like I'll make a reel or whatever and then save it and then go to post it on TikTok too. And they like have a wedding page on their Instagram that's like the hops weddings and then the hops, but they're not there yet on TikTok, you know, so but that just came up, so
good.
Cool.
Well, anyway, to wrap up today's episode, because we love chatting, we will chat all day. But I think we have a lot of content moving forward. I think we should really have someone come on for like not really branding, but like branding your business in areas that you want to be, and like finding your clientele, things like that. I think Jess would be a great addition for that.
I think so too.
Because she found her wave very quickly. And like who she wanted, what she wanted, things like that.
She feels like very settled.
And
it happened like very fast, but I don't ever, all the like new work I see of hers, I'm like, that's her. Like she found it.
Once crazy season ends a little bit, I think we're going to get some people on and spice it up a little bit.
We talked about doing some kind of like guided meditation. Talked about that, so we'll do that. Jess, we talked about maybe having somebody, one of your coaches, or like Manifest with Alexis, somebody on that would be cool.
And then also another photographer that we have to talk about. He wanted, I mentioned it to him, and I'll tell you.
Okay, cool.
Justin, I don't know I think it's his name, but I just did the style shoot with him at Waveney, and he said he knew who you were, but anyway, he did a style, or he just met with his like one of his photographer idols, and we were just chatting back and forth, and I was like, and then I was talking about like the coaching and how it's so important to be with someone who's a few steps ahead of you. And I was like, you'd actually be really great for our podcast.
Okay.
He's a photographer, so I feel like you guys would connect. So anyway, we have a few.
Okay.
But yeah,
we'll have to write them all down.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna grab my phone for. Well, we are out. So have a great week, and
see you next Monday.
Yeah.
Monday after next.
2 weeks.
Sure.
Cheers.
Bye.